My name's Dave, and in this tutorial I'm going to walk you through creating a forms application or form app or desktop app. And to get started, we do the same thing we did with the console app. Click on New Project, or you can go to File, New Project. So I'm going to click on this link, and this time I want to make sure Windows Forms Application is selected. Windows Forms Application. And I'm going to double click in the name field, and I want to name this something different. Right now it's just has the default name, so I want to name this My Form App. My Form App, and click OK. And again, you want to stay away from special characters. You stick with letters and numbers. So I have Windows Forms Application selected, and I've named it My Form App. And click OK. Now Visual Studio is going to set up the form app, also called a desktop app. So it's setting up the desktop app. You see it's created some files for me. And the first thing I want to do is click on Save All. Save All. So click on that. And this is the way of telling, the first time you click on Save All, you will have to tell Visual Studio where to save the project, where to save it. And you can do this by clicking on Browse and browse to the folder that you want Visual Studio to save your project in. So mine is see Documents. I have a folder called Dave, and then C#, and then Projects, and this is where I want, you can see the path up here, Documents, Dave. So this is where I want Visual Studio to save this project. So click on Select Folder, and you can see it's this is the location, and this is the solution name. My Form App, that's the name that I gave it. And Create Directory for Solution is checked. It should be. It is by default, and it should be. This will create a folder for the solution. And once you have all that set, then just click on Save. And now every time you click on Save All, it's going to save it in that location. Also, every time you run it, it's going to save it in that location. So periodically you want to click on Save All, and also anytime you run it, it'll save it for you. So just make sure you're saving your work as you go, so you don't spend hours writing code and then forget to save, and you've lost that time. So and the Save button will only save whatever file is selected at that time. So actually I never used the Save. I always use Save All. Simply you got more than one file that you're working with, and Save All just ensures that you're saving everything. So, but as you can see already, very quickly we have a Windows Forms application or form app or desktop app. And it doesn't do much. Let's go ahead and run this and take a look at it. And just click on that green Start button, and we have a desktop app. Right? It's granted it's blank. It doesn't do anything. It's not very pretty, but nevertheless we have a desktop app or form app. So let's go ahead and exit that. And I'm going to be moving kind of fast. I'm going to go ahead and dock that. By the way, you can drag these out or whatever if you need to resize them. So I'm going to drag a button here and go down, drag a label here, and I'm going to change the text property on this button to click me, and click on this label so I get the properties for the label, and we'll change the text in the label to click on the button, and we'll go up here and change the name. This is the name property. I'm going to change this to LBL message. LBL is short for label. It's just a convention. So LBL message. So I have a button and I have a label. And let's go ahead and run this. Go back to design view. Let's go ahead and run this. And we can see I have a label, I have a button. The button says click me, but if I click on it, nothing happens, right? So I haven't given it any instructions. So let's go ahead and do that now. Double click on that, and we'll go ahead and auto hide these, give us some more room. So I've double clicked on the button that set up a click event. If that makes no sense, don't sweat it. We're going to come back to this. At this point, I'm just giving you an introduction to Forms, a form app, desktop app, and just basically want to show you what it is at this point. So I'm going to type in LBL, and it's giving me some suggestions here. LBL message, that's the name of the label. So I've just clicked on that. Let's do that again. LBL message. I can just click on it, double click, or LBL, or I can hit enter. And I normally just hit enter. So once it's selected, you can use your arrows up and down, arrows if you need to, but LBL message is what I want. That's the name of the label. So I'm going to hit enter, and now dot, and you see IntelliSense gives me suggestions. These are there are a lot of members and properties and things for that label, and it lists them all here. So let's go back, dot, we'll type in TE, short for text, and you see text is selected. If it wasn't, I can use my up and down arrows to select it. So now that I have text selected, I'm going to hit enter. And again, I know I'm moving really fast here. I'm not concerned with this. If this makes no sense at all, don't sweat it. We're going to come back to all this. Again, just giving you a better idea of what a form app is. And see, I'm going to type in hello world. And there we go. Let's go back to the design view. So now I'm going to go ahead and run it. And so now when I click on the button, something should happen. So I'm going to click there, and we see we have the text hello world. So we click on the button, and the text hello world is displayed there. So let's go ahead and close that out. So there you go. I know there's some steps there that I moved kind of fast. If you didn't catch all that, don't sweat it. We're going to come back to all that. The main thing I want you to take away from this tutorial is how to create a form app or desktop app, just how to get started. And you do that by clicking on, if we go to the start page, this new project, and then making sure Windows Forms application is selected, name the application, and then once it's set up, click on Save All, tell Visual Studio where you want to save the app, and then click Save, and there you go. So those are the main things I want you to come away with. So this is a Windows Forms application, also called a form app or a desktop app.